Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday morning, April 21st. We are looking at the SPY, IWM, and Triple Q's market profiles here on Window Trader. And there's one basic question to ask ourselves. Which is the real seller from the last 2 days? Is it the seller that was here in A through E period in both days in all these indices? Or is it the seller all afternoon the last 2 days, which tried to make new lows and just became long liquidation and very wide pox? Look at this pre-market volume being done, just absolutely being packed in around the POC from yesterday and the top of the lower distribution. So plain and simple, whichever one was the real seller is going to determine what happens today. If it's the one that showed up in the morning, A through E, well, then there's a good chance of taking out yesterday's low and finally taking out last week's low and coming into balance. If all it was just some weak longs and some long liquidation, well, then eventually we should get into this set of single prints and attempt to fill them and get into the upper distribution from yesterday. Destinations for this morning. For the upside, we have our single prints. They start at 412.68, get filled at 413.66. Right now, pre-market high is 412.80. So just above M's high is the overnight high, just barely into the single prints. Then we have yesterday's high, 414.65, 415.09, 10 wide from the 19th, and you should have the rest of the destinations. For the downside right now, 411.96, 9 wide. Right now we're trading just below that. We have 75 minutes to go. So if we open below it, it becomes an upside destination. Otherwise, 411.96. Then we have our overnight low. Right now, 411.46. Yesterday's low of 410.59 and 410.20 last week's low. So game plan for this morning. Well, for now, unless something changes drastically in the next 75 minutes, it looks like we're going to open up inside value, inside balance in the lower end of the distribution in SPY and ES, which means you should get some major chop inside of here, and is not great risk reward. Again, if we are to push up against M's high and the overnight high, you can take a put play against that. You'd still have unchanged value. If you get accepted above it, I would get out and then see how much of the single prints they want to take back. If they don't take them all back and we taper off, you can once again get involved in a short play and then use B's low as your out if they are to fill the single prints. Those are two short plays early. As far as the long play, nothing right here. If we are to push down, you can take it against value low and or yesterday's low. But again, if we take out yesterday's low, I would be out, as I would think last week's low should fall rather easily. Russell a little different. They're a little higher right now, above the lower distribution, inside their single prints, and the triple Qs on the opposite end of the spectrum. They're trading towards the lower end of the lower distribution. And then on the charts, again, just a daily for now. The daily is down right now in the SPY. The monthly and weekly are healthy. So again, the more lows you take out, the more longs up here get nervous. So the key for the bears is to continue to make new lows and take out last week's low and bring the next time frame in as a seller. For the bulls, you want to hold last week's low and eventually take out yesterday's high. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.